Pettin said that you guys have to get back to your formula on offense.
Sure.
How important is that to you guys?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think everyone knows this offense is built on the run game, and then everything kind of plays off of that. And even though people are going to challenge that, we still have to be able to go out there and set the tone for what we're going to do. And I think we take that as a challenge, especially with teams like Oakland, who are going to put 8 men in the box. And Kyle has, like I said this before, he's run the system for a long time, so he's dealt with that. And so there's some different scheme that you can use, but for the most part, we just got to get back to our basics and execute.
How are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
Gatorade, thank you.
Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, how much different are they for you when you don't play a good game? When you lose,
yeah, I'm just
are you
angry,
able to flip it?
Just angry. Me and my wife said she doesn't want to be around me, She said sometimes she doesn't want to be around me after we win, too, but just because I'm so critical. She's like, you guys won. I'm like, I know, but I could have done this better. But especially after a loss, I mean, it just lingers with you until you get a chance to come back out here and do something about it. Yeah, you can sit there and watch a film and learn from it, but until you get a chance to come back out, go through meetings this morning and then get back out on the field and really start setting your sights towards Oakland. I mean, I feel a lot better today after having meetings and going through practice and just really moving forward.
This was the first game, Ryan, where you didn't, by your own admission, you didn't play.
Yeah.
So you have to test your confidence and all, or is that never shaken?
No, I mean, it happens to the best. I mean, 3 weeks ago, everyone was saying Tom Brady was done with. I mean, he's the greatest quarterback of all time, and he had one bad game, and people are throwing him under the bus. So I think when you see that even the great ones have bad games, you're going to have a few. And yeah, it sucks. You don't want to go out there and not perform well. And obviously, we prepare our butts off all week to go out there and execute and play the best of our ability. But sometimes, you have a situation where you don't play great and the other team plays well, and it's a bad combination. So for me, really, of all the games I've ever played, that was the worst I've ever felt after one, and that's something that you have to deal with, learning on the job. It's not always going to be perfect, and you're not always going to win the game. And even if the games you lose, you might have played well, but for the first time in my career in the NFL, I played a really bad game, and it sucks. And you really, I take a lot on myself, and that's why I probably wasn't very pleasant to be around for the past 2 days. So, that's just the way it goes.
Sorry, Brian. Mike Pettin talked the last couple of days about getting away from your formula. What does that entail, and how do you get back to that formula that he's referenced?
Yeah, I think he just talks, what I said before, getting back to the basics, getting back to, better technique, and also, when you are going to get challenged, and our formula obviously is to run the ball and then play action and make it and stuff like that, and really just, don't get away from it just because someone's trying to take it away. I think that's kind of what he's talking about, and yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but we're up for that challenge.
You mentioned during the game that, or afterwards, that they briefly discussed going to Johnny Manziel. Does that, bother you? Does it feel?
No, I mean, nothing was brought to my attention, so it's out of my control.
Does the overreaction of fans, media, does that ever surprise you, especially if it's personal because it's a quarterback thing?
No, I mean, I think, like I talked to you guys on Monday, there's overreaction when you win, and there's overreaction when you lose, and especially at the quarterback position. I mean, when you win, you're the hero. When you lose, you're the GOAT. I think that's just the way it goes. That's the way this league kind of has become, and it comes with the territory. It's something that, I knew going into it, that's the way it is, and there's not much you can do about it. You worry about what you can control, and that's what's going on in this building. And the outside noise, you just kind of try to block out, whether it's good or bad. I mean, sometimes you can get caught up when people are patting on your back. It feels good, and yeah, maybe you want to check and see what they're saying. But if you're going to do that, you better be able to take it when they're saying bad stuff too.
How tough is it when you get that ripple effect going on, where somebody drops the ball or somebody misses the block, and then you as the quarterback, you feel like you have to bring everybody back? Is that?
Yeah, I think, as a quarterback, you're the leader of the offense, and you try to get things going, and maybe sometimes you try to do too much, you try to make a play, but I think the biggest thing to me, which I always try to tell myself, is just one play at a time. Don't worry about the last play, don't worry about the next play, be in the moment, worry about this play, and yeah, it's frustrating when, things don't work out, and, you miss a throw or whatever it might be, you get frustrated, and it's hard to be able to move on, but in the heat of the moment, you have to be able to, because if you let things linger, it's gonna prevent you from playing to the best of your ability.
Talked about this trust that you and Pettin have built going back to last year's letter and his commitment to you. Does that make getting over a bad game a little more easier?
I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I know what goes into my preparation. I know from talking to my coaches, that's the farthest thing on my mind. So yeah, I don't doubt that he has my back, but I also know that you have one bad game. I don't think people are just going to be calling for your job already. I mean, that's just the way it goes. But I know within this building, I feel more than comfortable.
Ryan, how many yards are you seeing available to you maybe for a scramble play action?
Yeah, there was one. I mean, I'd rather throw it than run it. I mean, we all saw what happened when I ran the ball last year. So, there was one. The only one in particular that comes to mind was the one where I kind of threw it a little bit wide to Gabriel on the sideline. I might have been able to run for 5-6 yards, but when you're thinking, if you can pass, complete the pass, it's 16. So that is part of our, training. It's 1, 2, 3, and if 3's not there, then run. Just keep running. So, one of these days it might happen.
Obviously, completion percentage took a little hit
Sure.
this past week, but in general, you're probably not very concerned about.
Yeah, I don't look at stats. I mean, obviously this past week was a little bit of a different type of game. Obviously, 41 passes the week before I had 17, so you never know how it's going to go. I mean, when you go back to the Baltimore game, I think at one point I was 20 or 21. So, sometimes when you get batted balls or you have to throw the ball away, but I'd rather throw the ball away than take a sack. I don't, it's a team game. I don't care about my stats. I care about us winning. So if I have to throw the ball away to avoid a sack or whatever it might be, I'd gladly do that and take a hit on my completion percentage.
Brian, you did absorb some hits in that game, more so than probably any other game. How did you come out of that physically?
Good. I mean, just the usual bumps and bruises. I mean, that's the way that this game is, and eventually you're going to have some of those. So, you just go in and make sure you take care of yourself, and it's something that I knew with the possibility of being a starter for a full season. I tried to prepare myself as best as I could, and so far I'm holding up really good.
What stands out about the Raiders, D?
Well, you look at their depth chart and you're like, geez, I mean, look at these players. They got Woodley, Tuck, Antonio Smith, Charles Woodson, you watch him on film, it looks like he's young and playing the way he used to, and Terrell Brown, Carlos Rogers. I mean, they got a lot of big name guys over there, and you watch the film and you see him making a lot of plays. So I think we know going into it that it's going to be another challenge, and especially with their front seven and like the guys I mentioned, and their 2 linebackers in there. So, we know what we're up for, and yeah, their record may be what it is, but as I talked to someone else who plays in this league the other day, the records don't matter in this league. It matters about going out and executing on Sunday. So, the media and people like that, they might get caught up in records, but when you sit there and watch the film and you're watching a defense who has players like that, you don't pay attention to the record. You just see what the film tells you and then be ready for that.
Besides the one in the end zone, Jordan Cameron, I gave 1 for 5. Why was it? And I think he targeted maybe 6 times.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard to get him the ball on Sunday specifically? But all year, really, I mean, he doesn't have many.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's something that for me, I'm definitely trying to go through the progression and you try to get to Jordan throughout there. And like I said, you miss him in the end zone, and obviously you got 7 points right there. So it's something that we're definitely working on, and I'm always, Jordan's always in the back of my mind to try to get him out.
When you guys are playing an 0-16 for the second straight week, though, I mean, is there some sort of sense in this?
Well, maybe it's good we lost last week. I mean, I don't think we had underestimated anyone, but I think now we see that no matter who we're playing, we have to be at our best, and there's no excuses, and we have to go out and execute.
Cool shoes, man.
Thanks.